Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for episode 2 of A Carpenter's Tale. That's right, I'm going through some of John Carpenter's best known movies, some which I've seen, some I haven't seen, and some I've only seen maybe once or twice. So we've had the first one, which was The Thing, which was a corker. We're on to episode 2. Which is not going to be from a disc. If I can grab hold of the handset, I shall show you what episode 2 is. It's on Netflix. Here we go. That's right, episode 2 is Christine. Let's do it. Oh, I've got some fresh drink and got some snacks. No fish finger sandwiches with mint sauce this time. I've got some pop chips. Well, not pop chips, but they're Tesco's own make and they're only £1 and they're barbecue, so very nice. So we'll start munching on those while we watch Christine. Christine is actually a film I've never seen. It's one of John Carpenter's films I've never seen. I know there's a 4K release in the US. I don't think there's one here yet, but I don't own the Blu-ray for it or the DVD. And all I know is something to do with a car. So I'm thinking maybe along the lines of maybe something like Duel. Do you remember Duel? Spielberg's Duel with a lorry. So anyway, let's stick it on Netflix and I'll give you my little review afterwards. Okay, so just finished Christine. That don't sound good, does it? I haven't got a physical copy to hold up. So it's on the screen up there. Why have I not got this film in my collection? And why have I never seen it before? Now, from a Stephen King story, who I do really like Stephen King. I used to read his books all the time. Langoliers and 4 Past Midnight and loads of other stuff. I've never really read the adaptations, a lot of the adaptations that have been turned into movies. Then again, the Langoliers was turned into a TV series, wasn't it? Which was a really good TV series set on this airport. Or TV movie rather. Okay, so Christine, yes. There's lots of nods. Well, I wouldn't say there's nods in this film to other films because this film came first, so other films took from this film. I'll tell you about that in a minute. We'll get to it in a minute. But yes, Detroit, 1957. I like the way the film starts out on an assembly point, constructing all these beautiful cars to the sounds of Bad to the Bone, which kind of like, oh hello, a bit Terminator-y. But yes, very nice. There's kind of a few mishaps on the assembly line, a few mysterious accidents and that kind of thing. So you're thinking, oh, okay, yes, what's going to happen here? Okay, and then the film moves forward a couple of years to this little American suburb. And it kind of like turns into kind of like Grease meets Back to the Future. Such as the high school scenes kind of do remind me of Grease, with a couple of the high school students with kind of their one-line quips, the way that some of them treated George McFly. And also, some of them felt like Marty McFly, some of the scenes that he had. I know it's all set in the 50s, so same time period, but I think Back to the Future adds its nod to Christine. And also, like, the relationship between the two leads, Arnie and Dennis. I keep getting vibes of George McFly for Arnie when he starts out. I kind of got that feel. There's some bullying as well with this guy called Buddy. He's supposed to be in high school. He looks about 40. But yes, there's a very interesting fight with him and a knife, and yes, a couple of his lackeys. As Arnie and Dennis are out driving down the road, he passes this kind of like old run-down building, this old run-down house, and spots this rather distressed, crappy-looking car just sitting there with a for sale sign on it. He manages to talk the bloke into selling the car for $250, even against Dennis's wishes. You know, don't buy this piece of shit, we'll get you a decent car, that kind of thing. And he decides to take it and take it into this auto detailer's, or we call them garages over here, where he'll try and build up this car and clean it up and repair it. And the bloke that actually runs this auto detailer's, he's a grumpy old git, but he's a lovable grumpy old git. It eventually becomes apparent that the previous owner of this car actually died inside the car, gassed himself, and then his wife killed herself as well. Talk about keep it in the family. And all of a sudden, this car, Christine, starts to begin this beautiful transformation of repairing itself. The paintwork turning out perfect, all the chrome, the tyres inflating, the radio, everything working perfectly, and turns into this bloody majestic, gorgeous looking car. But also, with the transformation, Arnie's friends and family start to notice a difference in him. You know, like I said, he started out kind of like being a bumbling George McFly, or Rick Moranis from Ghostbusters. They notice little things that have changed, like the way he dresses, his look, and his self-confidence increases. And also one night, to get their revenge, Buddy and his group decide to pay Christine a visit at this auto detailer's, with crowbar in hand and hammers and all that, and smash the shit out of it. And it's a little bit sad, but you kind of know, oh, don't worry, it's not going to last long. But they do smash the shit out of it. And I bet the actors, when they were filming that scene, I bet the actors had so much fun with that scene. Also, with Arnie and his changes, he's also becoming more hostile and more confrontational. So another link to like Back to the Future, I'm thinking that when he started out, he's kind of George McFly, and he's now turning into Biff. That's kind of a reference. And I swear that the producers of Back to the Future must have taken some references from Christine. And also a lot of elements from American Graffiti as well, what with Spielberg being chums with George Lucas. And there's this one scene where Christine chases Buddy to a gas station, petrol station in the UK. And he's just standing there on the petrol station forecourt, and all of a sudden Christine comes screaming in full speed and smashes straight into this car. And in all of the smashing and everything, she sort of like stumbles and runs over like the petrol pumps and the gas, and goes everywhere. The petrol goes everywhere, and all of a sudden, whoa! The whole petrol station explodes in this massive, massive pyrotechnic ball of flames and everything. Very impressive. I love that. And Christine is on fire. She's burning away. She's still going. She's still chasing this bloke down the road. And then she's sort of like, I think I'll go over you. And he's left them rolling on the floor in flames. And that's Buddy gone. But also earlier on, she decided to take it out on one of the other members of the group as well, and chased him down, you know, through some alleyways and that, and down to this like a T-junction, like a kind of like an alleyway with a dead end. And she couldn't get any further. And he was right at the end, you know, he was against the back wall. She pushed herself through the narrowest gap, ripping the doors off, ripping the mirrors off, like, I'm going to get you. I don't care if it damages me, you know, I'm going to repair myself. You're dead, that kind of thing. And when Christine gets back to the auto detailers, smoking away, bubbling, bodywork bubbling, you know, all blistering, and the wheels, and just a few smoke and shit and all that kind of stuff. The bloke that runs the auto detailers decides, oh, I'm going to go and have a sit in the car, because he thinks, you know, someone's driving the car in there. And his seat starts pushing forward. And yeah, that's not a scene I'd like to happen. Squashed by a steering wheel. Oh, that's got to chafe. These deaths keep piling up. And it all inevitably turns into this duel between Christine and Dennis in the auto detailers. Dennis has got this big massive caterpillar machine that he's going to kill Christine. He's going to put her down once and for all. But the thing about Christine is that whenever they show her driving around, they're all blacked out windows. In the daytime, you know, when they're out at the school, it's normal. It's normal windows, normal glass windows. But they show blacked out windows, so you kind of think, right, this is the demon side of Christine, but maybe they don't want you to see who's inside. But they do show you a flash. They do show you one scene of Arnie inside, and it's like he's possessed. It's like he's got black and he's got silver all around his eyes. Kind of like Christine is transforming him. And there's lots of crashes in this detail place, and you know, they're trying to rip the car apart. The car's trying to kill the girl, Alexandra Paul. And in the mad frantics that's going on, Christine crashes, and poor Arnie goes flying through the window. And unfortunately, he's got a huge piece of glass in him, and he dies there and then. But before he dies, he kind of like stretches out his arms, you know, stretches out his hand to sort of like stroke her and to touch her. And when he dies, sort of Christine goes, kind of makes noise like, yeah. It's like, you know, she's either happy that he's dead, you know, because it's another one, or she's sad. I'm getting all philosophical about a car. After Dennis defeats Christine, she ends up in this scrap heap in this huge cube, with a bit of a funny scene. You swear that you hear some music still coming from this cube, but then this bloke walks past with a ghetto blaster on his shoulder, which is quite a nice neat little scene. Then the camera pans in on this big square cube of metal and chrome, and little bits start moving, and you think, oh, she's not finished yet. Nice one, Christine. But yes, so that's the main outline of the story. Very thoroughly enjoyable film. As I say, I don't know why I haven't got it in my collection. It was the first time viewing. I mean, I'd seen maybe a clip or two sometime in the past, but I'd never sat down and actually watched the film. And I'm so glad I watched it, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit down a little bit now because I watched it on Netflix. Now, Netflix is good. I mean, the picture quality wasn't brilliant. I mean, there was a lot of grain. And, you know, when the titles come up, they sort of like move slightly, you know, because it's probably an old transfer, an old reel or something. And it was in just Dolby Digital 5.1. So I'm kind of bummed a little bit that I didn't see it in a more glorious format, Blu-ray. But there is a 4K release that's been released in the US. So it's only a matter of time before a 4K release is released in the UK. And a couple of John Carpenter's movies are being released this week and in November in 4K special kind of box sets. And I really hope that they release this one the same, because this is definitely one that I want to pick up. I'm not going to pick up the Blu-ray, I don't think. I'm going to wait for the 4K, because then I'll definitely want to watch that again straight away. And just seen from the picture here, I can only imagine how gorgeous this 4K picture, or even the Blu-ray picture, is going to look, especially on 4K with the HDR. You know, the candy apple red of this car, and the 50s look, the 50s feel, the high school look. It's going to look absolutely glorious in 4K, and that's something that I'm looking forward to checking out. And a better soundtrack as well, maybe a 7.1 soundtrack or an Atmos soundtrack, because this was just basic Dolby Digital 5.1. I didn't really get much out of the surrounds, but I can imagine some of the scenes with a car driving past, or there was quite a scene with lots of rain towards the beginning of the film, so I can imagine that the rain will just be coming down all over the place. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to getting. Okay, so on a rating, so we're going to rate Christine 1 out of 10. Well, it's got to be absolutely something mind-blowingly special to get a 10. But having said that, I am really happy to give Christine a 9, because it was that much a great roller coaster ride, and it's a film I definitely want in my collection, and a film that I will see multiple times. It's just one of those classic movies. I love the look of it, I love the feel of it, the sound. Well, not that I could hear much sound, but I know what it would be like. But, you know, the sound of the engines, the car engines, that kind of thing. My God, the sound of Christine's engine through the subwoofer in a 7.1 or Atmos mix, that will be something to bleed and watch and hear. So yes, I'm definitely going to give Christine a 9. So happy I watched it. I'm really looking forward to the next one now, because we've got 8 more John Carpenter movies to go. A couple of them are still I haven't seen before, and we've got a couple of 4Ks coming up that are going to be released as well. So yes, so that is my review, first time viewing of Christine. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on episode 3 of A Carpenter's Tale soon. Bye.